Hello everyone. Welcome to tonight's story. Your likes and subscriptions can give me hope to create better stories. And let me know what changes you'd like me to make to my voice. All right, now let's get to tonight's story. Chapter 1. The Reed Palace, Awakening. You wake to the soft rustle of reeds around your palace. The morning light filters through woven papyrus walls, casting golden patterns that dance and sway like gentle waves upon the water. Your bed is simple here, far from the marble halls of Alexandria, a soft linen mattress stuffed with sweet-smelling herbs, lavender from the palace gardens, chamomile gathered by moonlight, and dried lotus petals that whisper of the sacred Nile. You stretch slowly, feeling the cool morning air brush against your skin. The reed hut creaks softly, a lullaby of natural wood and water-soaked fibers. This is your retreat, your beautiful mistake, choosing simplicity over splendor. Choosing the farmer's canals over the royal court. The walls around you tell stories in their golden weaving. Each reed was cut by careful hands, harvested from the marshlands, where ibis birds step delicately, where the water reflects the endless sky. The ancient Egyptians have built with these reeds for thousands of years, their homes breathing with the rhythm of the river, expanding and contracting like sleeping lungs. You sit up slowly, your feet touching the floor of polished clay, cool, smooth, made from the sacred mud of the Nile's floods. This mud has built Egypt, grain by grain, flood by flood, carrying the black soil that makes the desert bloom. The farmers call it Kemet, the black land, the gift of life. Through the window, you see the canal stretching like a mirror, reflecting the pale morning sky. Date palms line the water's edge, their fronds moving in the gentlest breeze. The sound is like silk brushing silk, soft, hypnotic, endless. The water touches your face, cool and gentle. Each drop carries the essence of the Nile, the river that has flowed for millions of years, through granite valleys, across endless sands, bringing life to a land that would otherwise sleep in eternal dryness. You dry your face with linen, soft as cloud, white as moonlight, back through generations of Egyptian women spinning flax into beauty, creating comfort from river plants. Your morning robe is simple, undyed linen that hangs loose and flowing. The fabric moves with you like water, like air, like the gentlest touch of feathers. No gold today, no jewels, only the natural beauty of cloth that breathes, that lets the morning breeze cool your skin. You step outside, your bare feet touching the wooden walkway that extends over the canal. The wood is smooth, worn by countless footsteps, polished by the gentle lapping of water. It gives slightly under your weight, alive, responsive, connected to the earth. The canal stretches before you, narrow, peaceful, lined with reeds that grow thick and tall. Their roots reach deep into the mud, drinking from the sweet water, growing strong and flexible. These same reeds will become baskets, mats, paper, boats, 1,000 uses from one simple plant. Fish move beneath the surface, silver flashes in the clear water, catching insects that fall from the reeds, following ancient patterns of hunger and satisfaction, predator and prey, all moving in slow, peaceful circles. The water barely ripples from their passage. You hear voices in the distance, the farmers beginning their day. Their words float across the water like music, Arabic mixed with ancient Egyptian, languages layering like sediment, building meaning upon meaning, generation upon generation. A wooden boat glides into view, pushed by a long pole in skilled hands. The farmer stands in the bow, his movements graceful, practiced, efficient. He has been navigating these canals since childhood, learning from his father, carrying forward knowledge older than the pyramids. The boat carries baskets of vegetables, green leaves glistening with morning dew, lettuce growing in floating gardens, onions sweet from rich soil, garlic braided in long ropes, radishes crisp and peppery, all the gifts of earth and water, working together in ancient partnership. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with the morning air. It tastes of water, of growing things, of earth warmed by sun. There is no dust here, no heat, only the gentle moisture that rises from the canal, carrying with it the scent of life itself. Your breakfast waits on a low wooden table. Simple foods that connect you to the land. Fresh bread baked before dawn, its crust golden, its inside white and soft. Made from wheat grown in fields that flood and drain with the river's rhythm. The bread is still warm, releasing steam when you break it, like morning mist rising from water. Dates from the palace palms, sweet and chewy, concentrated sunshine. Each one a small miracle of sugar and fiber. Figs that burst with pink sweetness. Grapes that taste of sunlight and rain. All grown in soil blessed by the annual floods. Soil that has fed Egypt for 5,000 years. Milk from goats that graze the canal banks, rich and creamy, served in a cup of fired clay. The clay was shaped by hands that learned from their ancestors, fired in kilns that burn with the same flames that have burned for centuries. Each cup unique, imperfect, beautiful. You eat slowly, tasting each bite, feeling the food nourish your body, connect you to the earth, to the farmers, to the endless cycle of planting and harvest, eating and renewal. Life feeding life, in gentle circles. The sun rises higher, warming the air, making the reeds sway more gently. The light changes from gold to white, soft, diffused by the moisture rising from the water. Everything glows with inner radiance, peaceful, serene, eternal. A dragonfly lands on your hand, its wings catching the light like stained glass. Transparent, delicate, perfect. It rests for a moment, trusting, calm, then lifts away on wings that whisper, disappearing into the morning like a beautiful dream. You stand slowly, ready to begin your day among the farmers. Your beautiful mistake of leaving the palace, of choosing simplicity, of learning from those who work with their hands, who understand the true wealth of Egypt, the wealth of soil and water, seed and harvest. The wooden walkway leads you deeper into the canal system, each step taking you further from the world of marble and gold, deeper into the world of earth and water, where life flows in natural rhythms, where time moves like honey, sweet, slow, golden. Your eyelids grow heavy with contentment. The gentle sounds of morning wrap around you like a soft blanket. The water laps against the walkway. The reeds whisper ancient secrets. And somewhere in the distance, a farmer's song floats across the water. Wordless, peaceful, eternal. You drift into a state between waking and sleeping, where the boundaries blur, where consciousness flows like water. Gentle, natural, unforced. The morning holds you in its warm embrace, and you surrender to its peaceful rhythm, breathing deeply, slowly, letting the calm waters of sleep carry you into dreams of floating gardens and gentle hands and the eternal dance of earth and water. Under the Endless Egyptian. Chapter 2. The Floating Gardens. You glide across the water, the boat moving silently through morning mist. Your wooden vessel cuts through the canal like a prayer through silence, barely disturbing the surface, leaving only the gentlest wake behind. The wood is ancient sycamore, seasoned by decades of sun and water, polished smooth by countless journeys. Its grain tells stories of seasons, of growth rings, marking years of flood and drought, of patient trees drinking from the sacred Nile. The farmer who guides your boat moves with practiced grace, his pole reaching deep into the clear water, finding purchase in the soft mud below. Push, glide, silence. Push, glide, silence. The rhythm hypnotic, soothing, like a mother's heartbeat, like waves against a distant shore. Ahead, the floating gardens appear like islands in a dream. These are the ancient chinampas, the floating fields that have fed Egypt for millennia. Rectangular plots of earth built up from the canal bottom, held in place by woven reed walls, anchored by the roots of willow trees, whose branches trail in the water like green curtains. Each garden is a miracle, a collaboration between human wisdom and natural law. Mud scooped from the canal bottom, layered with reeds, with water weeds, with the patient accumulation of seasons, building soil that floats, that breathes with the water, that rises and falls with the level of the canal. You step onto the first garden, your feet sinking slightly into the rich black earth. It feels alive beneath you, soft, warm, yielding. This soil has been blessed by countless floods, enriched by the decay of water plants, made fertile by the endless dance of death and rebirth that feeds all life. An elderly farmer straightens from his work, his hands dark with earth, his face creased by years of sun and wind. His eyes hold the wisdom of someone who has watched 10,000 sunrises over the water, who has learned to read the moods of river and sky, who knows the secret language of growing things. "Welcome, great queen," he says softly, his voice rough as weathered wood, gentle as morning rain. "The gardens are pleased by your presence, as are we who tend them. Your coming brings blessing, like the first flood of season, like the first green shoot of spring." You smile, feeling the truth in his words. Here in the floating gardens, away from the weight of crown and ceremony, you are simply another human being, learning from those who understand the deep mysteries, the patient magic of earth and water, seed and harvest. The farmer leads you between rows of vegetables, his feet finding sure footing on the narrow paths between the planted beds, each step careful, respectful, aware that beneath lies the delicate architecture of root and soil, the invisible foundation of all green growing things. "See here," he whispers, kneeling beside a row of young lettuce, each plant exactly 4 fingers apart, enough room to grow, close enough to share shade, to protect each other from the harsh sun. They learn from each other, like children in a family, taking what they need, giving what they can spare. The lettuce leaves are tender green, touched with dew that catches the light like scattered diamonds. You run your finger along one leaf, feeling its smooth surface, its delicate veins, the miracle of sunlight transformed into living tissue, into food that will nourish bodies, sustain life, continue the endless cycle. Water moves beneath the garden. You can hear it lapping gently against the reed walls. Feel the slight sway as the garden breathes with the canal's rhythm. This is farming as dance, as partnership with forces larger than human will, accepting the water's timing, the sun's gifts, the soil's generous abundance. The secret, the farmer continues, his voice barely above a whisper, is never to fight the water, never to demand what the earth cannot give. We work with the flood, with the drought, with the seasons as they come, accepting, adapting, grateful for each harvest, patient through each waiting time. A young woman appears from behind a screen of bean plants, her arms full of green pods, her feet bare, her dress simple white linen that moves like water in the gentle breeze. She bows gracefully, her movements fluid, natural, unconscious of their beauty. The beans are ready, she says, her voice musical, soft as wind through reeds. Sweet and tender, picked at dawn when the pods are full of dew, when the sugars are highest, when the plants are most generous with their gifts. She offers you a pod, still cool from the morning air. You break it open, revealing perfect green spheres nested like pearls in silk. The beans are sweet, crisp, tasting of earth and rain and sunshine. Concentrated life, captured in perfect, tiny packages, designed by nature to nourish and sustain. Try this, the farmer says, leading you to another bed. Here grow radishes with leaves like green lace, their roots hidden in the dark earth. Pull gently, like waking a sleeping child, with patience, with respect, with gratitude for what is offered. Your hands close around the green leaves. You pull slowly, feeling the earth release its hold. The radish emerges clean and white, shaped like a teardrop, crisp and peppery when you bite it, with an edge that awakens the palate, followed by sweetness, by the taste of clean water and rich soil. The sun climbs higher, warming your shoulders, making the air shimmer with rising moisture. The heat is not harsh here, softened by the water, by the green leaves that breathe cool humidity into the air, by the gentle movement that keeps the breeze flowing. Everything in balance, in harmony, in perfect natural rhythm. You move between the gardens, each one a separate world, a distinct community of plants living together, sharing water, sharing nutrients, sharing the work of turning sunlight into food. Here grows the sacred lotus, its white petals opening to the morning sun, its roots reaching deep into the mud, transforming darkness into light, death into beauty. An old woman sits weaving baskets from reeds, her fingers moving with practiced skill. Over, under, pull tight, over, under, pull tight. The rhythm hypnotic, meditative, timeless. She has been weaving for 70 years, learning from her grandmother, carrying forward techniques older than the pharaohs, older than the pyramids. Each reed has its purpose, she explains, her voice dry as autumn leaves, wise as winter wind. The thick ones for strength, the thin ones for flexibility, the green ones for beauty, the brown ones for durability. Like people in a village, like plants in a garden, each contributing what they do best, creating something stronger than any could make alone. The basket takes shape under her hands, functional, beautiful, perfect for carrying the morning's harvest. It will last for years, growing more beautiful with use, darkening to rich amber, becoming smooth as silk from countless hands, countless journeys between garden and market, between earth and table, a child appears. Running between the garden beds, her laughter bright as bird song, light as bubbles rising from deep water. She stops beside you, breathless, eyes shining with the joy of being alive, of being young, of being part of this peaceful world where humans and nature dance together in ancient harmony. "Look what I found," she whispers, opening her small hands to reveal a perfect snail shell, spiral and golden, empty now, waiting for new life. It's like a tiny palace, with rooms that get smaller and smaller, like looking into infinity, like dreams inside dreams. You take the shell, feeling its smooth curves, its mathematical perfection, nature's architecture, following laws older than geometry, creating beauty from calcium and time, from the patient accumulation of moments, of tiny decisions, of life lived one day at a time. The child runs away, her bare feet splashing through shallow water, her voice trailing behind like music, like the memory of your own childhood, before crowns and kingdoms, before the weight of ruling. When wonder was your daily bread, when every morning brought new mysteries to explore. You sit on a wooden bench, worn smooth by generations of farmers taking rest, watching their gardens grow, planning the next planting, the next harvest, living in the eternal now of agricultural time, where patience is the highest virtue, where waiting is a form of prayer. The water moves beneath you, carrying boats, carrying birds, carrying the reflection of clouds that drift like white islands across the blue sky. Everything connected, everything flowing, part of one great river system that includes your breath, your heartbeat, your thoughts dissolving into the peaceful rhythm of the floating world. A farmer brings you tea, brewed from mint that grows wild along the canal banks, sweetened with honey from bees that visit the lotus blossoms. The cup is clay, fired in kilns that burn with tamarisk wood, shaped by hands that learned their craft from the earth itself. Functional, humble, perfect. The tea is warm, fragrant, soothing. Each sip connecting you to the plants, to the bees, to the potter, to the endless web of relationships that sustain all life. You drink slowly, mindfully, tasting the essence of the garden, the distilled spirit of growing things. A fish jumps in the canal, sending circles spreading across the water, expanding, overlapping, disappearing into the greater stillness. Like thoughts arising in meditation, like ripples of consciousness spreading through the infinite calm, acknowledged, released, returning to peace. Your eyelids grow heavy with contentment. The gentle sounds of the garden wrap around you like a lullaby. Water lapping against reed walls, leaves rustling in the softest breeze. The distant voices of farmers tending their floating paradise, all blending into one great song, one eternal hymn to the partnership between human hands and natural abundance. The sun reaches its zenith, bathing everything in golden light, making the water sparkle like scattered diamonds, making the green leaves glow with inner fire. You lean back against the wooden bench, feeling yourself part of this timeless scene, part of the eternal dance of earth and water, sun and seed, patience and... You drift, consciousness floating like a boat on still water, rocking gently in the rhythm of your breathing, in the pulse of your heart, in the greater heartbeat of the canal, of the river, of the earth itself, spinning slowly through space, carrying all its children toward dreams. toward rest, toward the peaceful sleep that restores all living things. Chapter 3. The Elder's Tea. You follow the winding path beside the canal, your footsteps soft on earth, worn smooth by generations of bare feet. The path curves gently, leading you away from the floating gardens, deeper into the village, where farmers have lived for countless centuries. Their homes rise from the earth like natural formations, built of mud brick dried in the sun, walls thick and cool, roofs flat for drying herbs, for sleeping under stars, for watching the eternal dance of sky and water. Date palms cast shifting shadows, their fronds moving like gentle fans in the warm air. Each tree a gift that keeps giving. Dates for food, fronds for weaving, sap for wine, wood for building, shade for resting, shelter for the countless small creatures that make their homes in the embrace of its branches. Ahead, smoke rises from a small courtyard, thin and white, carrying the scent of burning herbs, of ancient knowledge being awakened. You follow the fragrance, drawn by something deeper than curiosity, something that calls to the part of you that remembers, that knows the old ways, the gentle wisdom of plant and preparation. An elderly woman sits beside a small fire, her hair white as morning mist, her hands steady despite her age. She tends a copper pot that gleams like captured sunlight, its surface polished by decades of use, made smooth and beautiful by countless preparations, countless moments of quiet service. "Welcome, daughter of the Nile," she says without looking up, her voice soft as wind through papyrus, knowing as the river itself. "I have been expecting you. The herbs told me of your coming. The fire showed me your need for peace, for the deeper rest that comes only from understanding." You settle beside her on a low wooden stool, worn smooth by countless visitors, countless seekers who have come to learn from her gentle wisdom. The fire crackles softly, consuming dried twigs of tamarisk, of acacia, of sycamore, each wood adding its own voice to the small symphony of burning. "This tea," she continues, her hands moving with practiced grace among small clay jars, each one labeled with hieroglyphs painted in faded ink, "has been brewed by the women of my family for 40 generations, passed from mother to daughter, from grandmother to granddaughter, a recipe written not on papyrus, but on the heart, in the memory of hands that know their work." She opens the first jar, releasing the scent of chamomile, flowers dried at the peak of their potency, when the morning sun has warmed them, but the heat has not yet burned away their gentle magic. The flowers are pale gold, delicate as butterfly wings, powerful as the accumulated wisdom of centuries. "Chamomile for peace," she whispers, measuring the flowers with her cupped palm, adding them to the warming pot, grown in gardens blessed by the morning dew, picked by hands that understand timing, dried in shade that preserves their essence, ground fine enough to release their gifts, coarse enough to maintain their power. The second jar holds lemon balm, leaves that gleam like green silk, fragrant with the promise of calm, of settled nerves, of thoughts that flow like gentle streams instead of rushing torrents. She adds these with equal care, equal reverence, treating each herb as a sacred ally, a green teacher offering its gifts to those who approach with proper respect. "Lemon balm for clarity," she explains, her voice taking on the rhythm of ancient instruction, of knowledge passed through oral tradition, through demonstration, through the patient repetition that embeds wisdom in bone and blood. It speaks to the mind, tells it to release its grip on worry, on the endless chatter that prevents true rest, true peace. steam begins to rise from the pot, carrying with it the mingled fragrances, the essence of plants that have grown in Egyptian soil for millennia, that have felt the touch of the same sun, drunk from the same river, been blessed by the same floods that have sustained this land since time beyond memory. The secret of good tea, the elder continues, stirring slowly with a wooden spoon carved from olive wood, seasoned by years of use, darkened by the oils of countless preparations, is not in the rushing, not in the impatience to reach the end, but in the allowing, in giving the plants time to share their wisdom, to release what they have stored through months of growing, of gathering sunlight, of drinking deep from the earth. You watch the water change color, from clear to pale gold to rich amber, each moment bringing deeper transformation, deeper release of the plant's hidden treasures. The process cannot be hurried, cannot be forced, only witnessed, only allowed to unfold in its own perfect timing. A cat appears, sleek and black, moving with the fluid grace of all cats, all creatures who understand the art of being present, of accepting each moment as it comes, without argument, without resistance. She settles beside the fire, purring a low rumble that harmonizes with the gentle bubbling of the tea. Even the cats know. The elder smiles, her face creasing into lines carved by decades of joy, of service, of quiet satisfaction in work well done. They teach us about patience, about the wisdom of rest, about the beauty of simply being, without the need to do, to accomplish, to prove anything to anyone. The third jar contains lavender, purple flowers that hold the essence of peaceful sleep, of dreams that restore rather than disturb, of the deep rest that allows the body to repair itself, the mind to process and integrate, the spirit to remember its connection to the infinite calm that underlies all things. Lavender for sleep, she whispers, adding just a pinch, understanding that sometimes less is more, that the most powerful medicines work through suggestion rather than force, through invitation rather than demand. It carries messages from the realm of dreams, teaches us how to cross the bridge between waking and sleeping, how to surrender to the darkness that births all light. The fire settles into glowing coals, providing just enough heat to maintain the gentle simmer, the slow extraction that cannot be rushed, cannot be improved by urgency or impatience. The pot rocks slightly with the bubbling, a peaceful sound, hypnotic, soothing, like a mother humming to her child. My grandmother taught me this recipe, the elder says, her eyes gazing into the fire, seeing not just the present moment, but all the moments that led to this one, the long chain of teaching and learning that connects past and future in the eternal now. She learned it from her grandmother, who learned it from hers, back and back, to the beginning of memory, to the first woman who discovered that plants are teachers, that they offer their healing freely, to those who approach with respect. You feel time slow, stretch, become as malleable as warm honey. The urgency of the palace seems distant here, irrelevant, replaced by the deeper rhythm of growth and rest, of preparation and patience, of allowing things to unfold in their own perfect time. The elder adds the final ingredient, mint from the canal banks, fresh and green, still carrying the moisture of its roots, still connected to the earth that birthed it. The scent is bright, awakening, a perfect complement to the deeper medicines, the gentler healers already sharing their wisdom in the warming pot. Mint for joy, she explains, her voice soft as the steam rising from the tea. It reminds us that healing doesn't have to be bitter, that medicine can taste of pleasure, that the path to peace doesn't require suffering, only the willingness to receive what is offered, to trust in the wisdom of growing things. The tea reaches perfect temperature, not boiling, not cool, but precisely the warmth of a mother's touch, of sunlight through leaves, of the gentle heat that coaxes rather than forces, that invites rather than demands. She removes the pot from the fire, letting it rest, allowing the final alchemy to complete itself in stillness. "Now we wait," she says, settling back with the patience of stones, of trees, of all things that understand deep time, that know the difference between Chronos and Kairos, between the time of clocks and the time of souls. The plants need these moments of quiet to finish their teaching, to complete their generous sharing. A breeze stirs the date palms, rustling their fronds like gentle applause. The sound is soothing, rhythmic, natural. It carries with it the scent of growing things, of water and earth, of the eternal marriage between river and land that makes all life possible in this desert place. The elder lifts the pot, pours the golden liquid through a strainer of woven reed. The tea flows like liquid light, capturing and holding the essence of each plant, the accumulated wisdom of roots and leaves, of seasons of growth, of the patient alchemy that transforms simple herbs into healing medicine. She hands you a cup, clay fired in kilns that burn with the same flames that warmed the first potters. Shaped by hands that learned their craft from the earth itself. The cup is warm, slightly rough, perfectly imperfect, beautiful in its humble functionality, its connection to the endless tradition of human craft. The tea is golden, fragrant, perfect. Each sip carries the taste of peace, of wisdom distilled into liquid form, of the gentle magic that happens when plants and humans collaborate, when ancient knowledge meets present need, when patience creates its own perfect timing. You drink slowly, mindfully, feeling the warm liquid flow through your body, carrying with it the essence of calm, of rest, of the deep peace that comes not from the absence of activity, but from the presence of acceptance, of trust in the natural rhythms that govern all things. The elder watches with satisfaction, her life's work reflected in your peaceful expression, in the gradual relaxation of muscles held too long in tension, in the gentle slowing of breath, the natural deepening that comes when the nervous system finally receives permission to rest. "The plants are pleased," she whispers, her voice blending with the afternoon breeze, with the distant sound of water, with the eternal song of earth and sky. They have done their work well, as they always do, when we approach them with proper respect, with understanding of their generous nature, their willingness to share their healing gifts. Your eyelids grow heavy, not with exhaustion, but with contentment, with the deep satisfaction that comes from connection, from receiving the wisdom of generations, from being part of the endless chain of teaching and learning that connects all life, all healing, all peace. The fire settles into ash and ember, its work complete, its gift given freely, like the plants, like the elder, like all the natural world that offers its treasures without payment, without condition, asking only for recognition, for gratitude, for the respect that acknowledges the sacred in the simple, the divine in the ordinary. You lean back, feeling the tea work its gentle magic in your bloodstream, in your nervous system, in the deep places where true healing happens, where rest is not just the absence of activity, but the presence of peace, the return to the natural state of calm that is every being's birthright. The afternoon light grows golden, soft, forgiving. Everything glows with inner radiance. The elders' face, the empty teacups, the dying fire, all part of one great mandala, one perfect moment of connection between human wisdom and natural healing, between the seeker and the sought, between question and answer, dissolved in the simple act of sharing tea. You drift, consciousness floating like steam rising from warm water, like prayers ascending toward infinite sky, carrying with it all tension, all worry, all the unnecessary weight that the soul carries when it forgets its true nature, when it forgets that peace is not something to be achieved, but something to be remembered, something to be allowed, something as natural as breathing, as inevitable as sunset, as gentle as tea shared between friends in the golden afternoon of eternal now. Chapter 4: The Jacaranda's Embrace. You walk slowly toward the ancient tree, your feet finding the familiar path worn smooth by countless pilgrims, countless seekers who have come to rest in its generous shade. The jacaranda stands like a cathedral, its trunk thick with age, scarred by decades of wind and weather, blessed by the patient accumulation of seasons. Its bark is silver gray, smooth in some places, deeply furrowed in others, marked by the passage of time, by the slow wisdom that comes only to things that have learned to bend without breaking, to endure without hardening. Purple blossoms cascade from every branch, delicate trumpets that catch the afternoon light, transforming it into something magical, something that seems to glow from within. Each flower, a perfect work of art, created and discarded with the generous abundance that characterizes all natural beauty, given freely, appreciated by those who take time to notice, ignored by those too hurried to see. You settle beneath the canopy, your back against the warm bark, feeling the tree's ancient presence, its deep connection to earth and sky, to the underground rivers that feed its roots, to the wind that dances through its branches, to the sun that powers its slow miracle of growth and renewal. A soft blanket waits for you, woven from linen so fine it feels like captured moonlight, like captured dreams made tangible. It has been placed here by hands that understand comfort, that know the difference between luxury and true ease, between ostentation and simple pleasure. Spread carefully over the soft earth where purple blossoms have fallen like scattered jewels. You lie down, slowly, feeling your body sink into the earth's embrace, into the accumulated softness of fallen flowers, of leaves that have returned to soil, of the endless cycle that transforms all things, that teaches the deepest lesson of letting go, of trusting in the wisdom of change, of death that births new life. Above you, the branches form a living ceiling, purple and green, shifting and dancing in the gentle breeze. The spaces between leaves create windows to the sky, frames for the passing clouds, for the birds that nest in the tree's protective embrace, for the infinite blue that holds all weather, all seasons, all the moods of heaven. A servant approaches, moving like a dancer, like water flowing over stones, carrying a wooden tray laden with simple treasures, with food that connects you to the earth, to the farmers, to the endless generosity that sustains all life. She sets the tray beside you, bows gracefully, disappears as silently as she came, leaving you alone with the tree, with the afternoon, with the perfect peace of solitude. Fresh bread, still warm from the morning baking, its crust golden as sunrise, its interior white as clouds, soft as down. You break it slowly, feeling the grain that grew in fields blessed by annual floods, ground by stones turned by patient hands, mixed with water from deep wells, shaped by knowledge, passed through generations of bakers who understood their craft as prayer, as service, as daily participation in the miracle of transformation. Dates, plump and sweet, each one a concentrated burst of sunshine, of summer, captured and preserved in natural sugar, in fiber that sustains, in the patient alchemy that transforms blossom into fruit, tree sap into the energy that powers human dreams, human work, human rest, fresh milk, still cool from the morning milking, rich with the taste of grass, of herbs, of the simple contentment of goats that graze beside the canal, that live close to the earth, that understand the rhythm of seasons, the daily cycle of hunger and satisfaction, of giving and receiving that sustains all life. You eat slowly, mindfully, tasting each bite as if it were the first, the last, the only, feeling the food become part of your body, your energy, your capacity for thought and feeling, for the quiet contemplation that transforms experience into wisdom, hunger into gratitude, simple nourishment into communion with the living world. A purple blossom falls, landing softly on your outstretched hand. Its petals are velvet, cool, impossibly delicate, marked with deeper purple veins that carry water, nutrients, the tree's life force. Its perfume is subtle, sweet, mysterious, carrying messages from the realm where beauty serves no purpose other than its own perfect existence. You hold the flower, feeling its lightness, its fragility, its temporary perfection. In a few hours, it will brown, will crumble, will return to the earth that birthed it. But now, in this moment, it is complete, fully itself, asking nothing, giving everything. A perfect teacher of presence, of acceptance, of the beauty that lies in impermanence. The sun moves across the sky, shifting the shadows, changing the quality of light that filters through the leaves, transforming the space beneath the tree into a living kaleidoscope, a constantly shifting mandala of light and shadow, of movement and stillness, of the eternal dance between illumination and rest. Children's voices drift from the village, distant, musical, blending with the sound of wind through leaves, with the calls of birds settling into their afternoon roosts, with the gentle lapping of canal water against reed walls. All the sounds of life going about its business, peaceful, unhurried, natural. You close your eyes, feeling the tree's presence more deeply, sensing its root system spreading beneath you, reaching down to touch the water table, the underground river that connects all growing things, that carries messages between trees, between plants, creating the invisible network that supports all life, that demonstrates the fundamental interconnection, the underlying unity that mystics speak of, that poets glimpse, that children know instinct.